African Americans began to respond to the denial of rights through the use of Jim Crow laws, but they differed in their responses. The two main leaders of these varying opinions were Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois. Now, these men were not originally from Georgia, but spent a great deal of time in Atlanta working with the creation of the, the original civil rights movement. Washington believed that the way for blacks to advance was not through integration, but through hard work and vocational education. He became a national figure with a speech at the Atlanta International Cotton Exposition, often referred to as ICE, in which he endorsed segregation and hard work as the path to equality. In 1901, he became the first African American to visit the White House and later went on to found the Tuskegee Institute to train teachers and farmers and tradesmen. Du Bois was not like Washington. He believed that African Americans should speak out constantly for full civil, social, and political rights. He believed that Washington was too willing to compromise. He was a professor at Atlanta University and helped in the creation of the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, to promote legal challenges to Jim Crow and disenfranchisement. Washington's famous speech, I'll go back just a moment, at the Cotton Exposition was known as the Atlanta Compromise speech, and he often said, just cast down your bucket where you are. And you'll be analyzing this speech and the comparisons between these two men in your activity. So the race riot of 1906 was largely discredited the coexistence approach of Washington. And after 1906, most prominent African Americans tended to follow more with Du Bois and the NAACP. The riot. Now, there were some other people that worked with Du Bois at this time in Atlanta. John Hope and his wife, Eugenia Burns Hope. They were fighters in the fields of education. Hope served as the first black president of Morehouse College, a historically African American university. And he was also the founding president of Atlanta University, which today is called Clark Atlanta. While the president of Atlanta University, he established the first graduate studies program specifically for African Americans. Here is his wife, and she worked on organizations, particularly the Neighborhood Union, which provided poor blacks in Atlanta with a health clinic, boys and girls clubs, job training classes, and resources to improve their basic living conditions. The last person we're going to talk about is Alonzo Herndon, and you'll watch a video about him. He was born a slave and then later became a barber, and he was very successful that he became the first African American millionaire. And he was one of the wealthiest people in Atlanta, let alone an African American. And so you'll learn more about him in the video. I want to show you these two images too. This looks like, it's definitely an abandoned building, very run down, and it's near the original campus of Atlanta University, the buildings that have been abandoned and are no longer used as part of Clark Atlanta. Across the street, this is Herndon's home. Now, in the video that you watch about him, you'll get to see some of the interior, but I've been to this home and gotten to tour the inside. It is amazingly beautiful. And the things that he and his wife did traveling around the world, collecting artifacts and art, was just, they made a beautiful home. And so you see this discrepancy in this is how Herndon lived, and this is the area now. It's a very sad state of affairs that lifestyle has not been able to be continued for people in society.